Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're out at the range with a couple of Sig P320 handguns. Now, I want to talk about a couple of different angles regarding the handgun, but first and foremost, I want to talk about the new M17s that are now shipping from Sig. This is one of two different variations we'll talk about later in the video, but I also want to talk about the modularity of the P320 system. And to that end, I have a conversion kit here that I picked up from Bly Sports in Valparaiso, Indiana. They're a Sig dealer, in a box of 357 Sig. And the reason I did this is because I get so many questions about the caliber. And I don't own a 357 Sig. But it dawned on me, they had a conversion kit at Bly's. I have a P320. Now I understand and can use the modularity of the pistol. And we're going to show you some of the cool things you can do besides just changing calibers. So let's get started by shooting the M17 pistol. So now I have my very own copy of the M17 service pistol. I picked this up from my local gun shop, which is Bly's, and they are a Sig dealer, and they had me on a waiting list, so I opted to pick up the basic model, which has the black controls. There's also a limited edition handgun that has flat dark earth controls that is, I think, only going to have a production run of around 5,000 units. So they also sell them either by themselves in a box, both pistols, or you can opt to purchase a commemorative, I think it's a walnut case, and then it'll have like a challenge coin or something in it, and a U.S. Army patch. Something like that. I've just seen pictures. I haven't seen the actual complete collector's edition. So anyway, this is just the standard model. This is, from what I understand, what the actual military is getting. The flat dark earth controls are more reminiscent of the XM17, which was the trials pistol, and this is more representative, from what I've been told, to what's actually being shipped to the U.S. military currently. Now, they may have received a shipment of early guns with the flat dark earth controls, but this is a change that was made. The guns do have really nice sights on them. You can take this whole panel off back here, which will also remove your rear sight. There are two screws that hold it from the underside of the slide, and then you can put a red dot sight onto the pistol. So, all right. This is the first P320 I've ever handled with a manual safety. This was a requirement of the U.S. military. In reading the owner's manual to the handgun, it looks like Sig is going to be offering this handgun with a manual safety. They kind of refer to it as a standard production item. So you may see it on other pistols other than the M17 service pistol. It'll ship with two mags. The basic model will ship with two mags, and they're 17-round magazines. You're going to need an up lula to get the 17th round into these magazines. It is a struggle. 16 goes fairly easily. 17, you're really going to have to push to get them in there. We're shooting some Winchester white box, and that's from our friends over at LAX Ammunition. We do have a discount code down below if you'd like to swing by and use that discount code. It's good store-wide. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and charge. Oh, my God. Because that magazine... That magazine is so much force being pushed up on that 17th round, I could just barely get the slide back on it. Didn't expect that. Okay, really had to pull there, but we got it to work. Let's see how she does. Take that safety off. Wow, awesome. Jeez. This thing's really, really accurate. All right, so flawless function. I'm going to give that a try again. Now, we did put some oil on the magazine and the gun, I should say. So it's lubed up. We're using some, it's a product from Breakthrough Clean, and we're using some of their pure oil, and that's what we lube the handgun up with. Here goes another 17-round magazine. I'm going to stick it into the gun with the slide home, lock it in. So with that 17th round in the magazine, you're probably going to want to lock the slide to the rear and then just let it go home and strip that top round off, because it is a challenge to get that thing pulled to the rear. But luckily it has some really sharp cheese grater serrations that you can get that tight of a grip on the slide. All right, 100% reliability. That's a good sign. I love that. So you have a really good looking flat dark earth pistol. You have kind of like in the tradition of, it's going to match the scars perfectly, let's say. It's kind of in the tradition of FN. You have kind of a copperish color up here from the anodization or whatever finish they applied to the slide, and then you have a true coyote or FDE brown down here on the pistol grip. But I've become so accustomed to seeing scars in that 4 different tone of colors they use on their rifles at FN that this is actually appealing to me. I like the 2-tone look. So yeah, and I think it looks really smart with this black plate adapter over the top of the slide here that holds your rear sight. And if you did want to put a rear sight on this gun, I'm sorry, not a rear sight, but a red dot sight, taking this off is just like the 509. It will require the removal of the rear sight. Now, I don't know if that was a requirement made by the US Army to make the rear sight removable with the top plate, but you're going to lose that rear sight if you put a red dot sight on here, so you will not have that co-witness capability. But this is identical to the US Army M17 pistol. So let's do a quick caliber swap. And we're also going to change the overall size of this handgun. This is a compact version chambered in 9mm, and we have a conversion kit here for a full-size 357 SIG handgun. So to start off this conversion process, I'm going to go ahead and lock the slide to the rear, drop the magazine out, and you can see the weapon is safe. Now, you can lock the slide to the rear. We'll just go ahead and disassemble the P320 as is. Rotate your lever down, release the slide from the frame, and now I'm going to pull the subassembly out of the frame. You can do that by rotating this lever around and wiggling it until it pops out. Whoops, there we go. All right, we take the takedown lever out, and now we should be able to pull the trigger assembly out of its housing. Okay, now keep in mind, guys, this is a replaceable part. You can find these online for like 40 bucks if I remember right. This is the actual serial numbered item, which is right there below the slide stop slide release. All right, now let's set these aside. Get rid of the 9mm magazine for the moment. I have never done this conversion before, guys. I waited until this video to try this for the first time. I'm going to take the conversion kit out of its box, and let's see what we get on the inside. Looks like we have a different mechanism for the slide stop slide release in here. It's a slide catch assembly kit. We have a complete slide, and this is what I always thought was interesting about these conversion kits. Now, I paid just over $300 for this one, but it's an entire barrel, recoil spring, and slide that's fully assembled. Most of the cost of the gun you would think would be right here. This is the only reusable item of any substantial cost on the original P320, given we already know that the lowers cost about $40. All right, so we have the full-size slide barrel and recoil spring assembly. We have the full-size lower and one magazine, full-size magazine. All right, it does look like it comes with the magazine release already assembled in the lower, so you won't have to pull your magazine release out of your existing pistol, which is really easy to do. All right, let's go ahead and see if this trigger assembly will fit in, or if we got to swap it out with the other assembly that came with it. This goes in first, I believe. No, it looks like everything fits right in there as it should. All right, now we're just going to go ahead and install this bad boy. It takes a little bit of force sometimes to get these to go in. There we go. Okay. There we go. All right. That looks like it's installed. Now what's left to do, guys, is to put the slide assembly. It's just this full-size recoil spring that's captive in the barrel. And basically, it's field maintenance. It's interesting to note that the recoil spring guide on this is steel. It's got some weight to it. And it's just one spring on the full size versus the nested spring that's used in the compact series of handguns. All right, put the slide on. Slide stop seems to be working okay. And try out our magazine. All right, guys, that is a converted handgun. This is my first full-size P320. Let's grab some 357 Sig ammo and walk right over to the firing line and fire it. I'm just going to load up 15 rounds. Now, as you can tell, the 357 Sig is a little hot rod bottleneck cartridge. And of course, the bullet diameter is 357, hence the name. You know what? We'll just do 10 rounds so you guys don't have to sit there and watch me load a magazine. All right, let's go see what she does. It feels pretty good. I like the way that feels quite a bit. It's a stout recoil spring, but it's a pretty powerful little cartridge too. Wow, that shoots really, really good. The full-size setup has some heft to it. We didn't lube or clean it. We just slapped it together, and it works flawlessly. I got lucky and actually got night sights with this kit as well for that $325 price that I paid for it. I bought it quite a while ago, so I just know it was just right over $300 I paid for it. That's pretty cool. Now you guys can see us do some ballistics tests in the future using the 357 Sig. I have another topped off 17 round magazine you can see here in the window. We're gonna try it one more time. We've shot the gun a little bit more and we just want to see. It's getting easier with use for sure. So I think it's just a new gun syndrome. Always locks open too. I'm gonna go ahead, drop that magazine out, put another 17 round magazine in it. Magazines go right in. It's not difficult to put them in at all. All right, it's definitely getting much easier to load with that 17th round. And perfect function. We're still shooting that Winchester ammunition, which is leaving some really nasty debris inside the gun. But the gun's functioning flawlessly. Yep, pretty darn cool. I like the way this gun shoots. Because of the modularity of the P320, you can do cool things like this. Now we're going to do a full video on this, but this is the new B&T USW chassis for the P320. And it gives you the ability to SBR your P320 and make it into a short-barreled rifle. This one has the Sig Romeo red dot sight on it. This is a compact slide on a full-size frame, so we get 17 rounds. And then on the end, I have a silencer co, Octane 45 on the end of the barrel. And this, of course, is a Sig factory barrel that is threaded, and it's 13.5 by 1 left-hand thread. So let's go ahead and shoot this bad boy. Now I have a full 17-round magazine in it. You can see the window is full. And this one has no problem loading with 17 rounds in the magazine, so it's not stiff, but this is a well broken in gun. Hopefully my M17 breaks in like this one has. This thing's been 100% reliable, and I actually have quite a bit of fun with it. All right, even though it's in a different chassis right now. And no, I don't have a safe trigger on this one. I just don't want to drop it. All right, just goofing around at 100 yards. So, but wait, there's more. Because it's so modular, I'm gonna go ahead and take the magazine out, show you guys that the weapon is clear. I'm gonna hit the disassembly lever, take this assembly off, grab my 357 SIG full size. Now that was a compact frame. I'm gonna take a full size slide with the 357 SIG. I'm going to lock it in place here and lock the slide to the rear. 357 SIG ammo from Fiocchi. All right, we'll insert that. Make sure it locks in. Takes a little bit of a whap there. And now I have a 357 SIG. Now keep in mind, guys, the serialized part is the trigger inside of the gun. On the bottom of the USW chassis, they provide for a blank space to put your either individual address and name on it or your trust's name on it for registering it as an SBR. All right, now I have iron sights, which are going to be a little bit fuzzy to me at this distance. All right, figured out my hold there towards the end. There you guys go. I just converted it to 357 SIG that fast. The P320 is really cool, and don't expect any companies to race to market with new modular triggers like the P320, because if I'm not mistaken, Steyr sued SIG over the modular trigger assembly, and I think that's still being litigated. I doubt too many companies are going to rush to market with a, again, a serialized trigger mechanism that's as modular as the P320 until that's all settled. So right now, if you want to do all these cool things, the P320 is the only way to really do them. The M17 seems to be holding up very well. It's been 100% reliable. And yeah, aside from that little hiccup at the beginning where 17-round mags being inserted on a slide forward being really challenging to charge, even that's broken in and it's not even an issue. So far, I've had a great time out here this morning, or I guess it's this afternoon now, with the P320 military version, which is known as the M17. These are shipping now, but if you didn't get on a waiting list with your local dealer, you may have a hard time finding them, but you can always go over to a gun broker and pay 4 times what they're worth. So I don't recommend doing that. Be patient. I don't know if this particular variant is limited in numbers. I do know the Flat Dark Earth version, the commemorative version, they're limiting those again to 5,000 units. All right, so now we're going to finish off the last 2 mags of the day. Guys, if you would like to support us here at the Military Arms Channel, a great way to do that is to become a Patreon supporter. You can do that by following the link down below. We are 100% viewer supported. Also, if you'd like to support us, swing by forgedfromfreedom.com. There is a link down below, and pick up a t-shirt from the Mac collection. That directly supports us here at the channel as well. And last but not least, swing by and check us out at coppercustom.com, which is our online store. One last thing I want to mention is that the safety was on when I ran the slide. You can run the slide chamber around or make the weapon safe with the safety on. It doesn't stop the slide from moving. Good feature. All right, guys, here we go. Last 2 mags. Very flat shooting little handgun. Yep, I think me and my M17 are going to have a nice, long, happy relationship. Talk to you guys soon.